Welcome back to another episode of Black Girls Den Podcast, brought to you by Alicia's Productions. But first, I have an announcement. I am hosting a free vision board party with my girl, Bored Out of My Mind. We are hosting January 10th in Louisville, Kentucky. So if you're in the surrounding areas, I would love to see you there. This is free. We will be providing materials and, some light refreshments because it's going to be early in the morning. But you can get a free ticket in my Instagram bio. That is where the link will be. And more details will be on my Instagram. I hope to see you there. And yay to 2026. Let's get into the episode. Welcome back to another episode of Black Girls Den. I am your den sis, Alicia, and I have a special guest with me, Kiana. We are going to be talking about family, faith, and facades. Grab your non-alcoholic beverage or wine. If you know, because you just turned water into wine. I'm just kidding, y'all. You can drink whatever you want. Today, I have some water with a lemon-infused kind of lemonade type of thing. What are you drinking today?
Some cherry Sprite Zero, which I just discovered, and it's really fine.
Period. Okay. So we are going to be talking about growing up in the church and having eyes everywhere and feeling like you have to have a perfect image. So instead of our first topic today being Black Girl Tea, we're going to call it Black Girl Preach. Because today we're taking y'all to church. Just a little bit though, okay? We sitting on the pews, even though this is a couch, pretend, okay? Mm-hmm. And talking about growing up as pastors and preachers' kids. So I brought Kiana here because she is actually
I'm a pastor's daughter.
Period. And I'm a minister preacher's kid. So this will be the great, conversation to have and sharing about our upbringings and like how that kind of like, I wouldn't say affected, but how it brought us up in like the different ways we think about life and how we kind of walk and move in life. And I feel like a lot of people has heard the stereotype like pastors, children, preachers, kids, whatever, you growing up in the church and stuff like that. So I just thought, why not have a conversation in the den? So thanks for joining me in the den, girl.
Thanks for inviting me.
You are welcome. So I want you to go first so you can kind of just like introduce yourself a little bit, whatever you want to share, and then kind of say like, well, you already said you were a pastor's kid, but like, I guess how long was your like dad a pastor and stuff like that? Just a little background.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, as she said, my name's Kiana. So I originally grew up in a small town, Maysville, Kentucky. I've lived in Louisville since 2018. And so, yeah, my dad was a pastor my whole life. He still is a pastor.
Period.
And so not only do I have that kind of element of being a pastor's kid, but a pastor's kid in a small town. So that kind of adds to that for me.
Yes.
Small town, everybody know everybody.
So. I can definitely see that. So I grew up as a preacher's kid. My experience was kind of different. As you all know, my dad was in the military. So growing up, like, of course, when I went to church, I went to my mom's church that she grew up in. So everybody already knew my family was there. And then my dad became a preacher there, but he was off and on there or whatever. But they're still like, at the end of the day, your dad's the minister at the church. So he was like the minister of the youth, like what is it called? I don't know, like the youth minister or something like that. Yeah, something like that he was. And then I ended up moving to Kentucky. And he still preached, but he didn't preach as much or whatever. So it was more of like my younger years kind of a little bit. But even till this day, like he still preaches, he's still a minister. He's married someone, so it's just kind of like embedded in me. Mm-hmm. So yeah, kind of like that. So that's just a little bit about us. Let us know if you are pastors or preacher kids in the comments. Let us know if you relate to any of our conversations that we got going on today, okay? So I did want to start with like, if someone is not a preacher's kid or a pastor's kid, how would you describe like the unique pressure, if you had any, of being a preacher's kid to someone like who isn't familiar with it?
Yeah, I would say it's probably definitely a different experience if you didn't grow up in the church or didn't grow up, having a parent in a spotlight in any way, but especially in a religious spotlight because people expect your family to be a certain way, they expect you to be a certain way. People that I had cousins thought we was rich because my daddy was a pastor.
Oh, what?
And, like, it's just all kinds of like opinions and things that people have about how your family operates and how you should act. And so, yeah, I sometimes I'm like, what is it like to not
to not be a pastor's kid?
To not be a pastor's kid, or to not, you know, have a parent or a family that's well known in your community.
I wasn't from like a small town growing up. I lived in a small town later, but I would kind of explain. I wouldn't even explain it as a unique pressure, but for someone who isn't familiar with the experience, I would just think a pastor is a community person, a preacher is a community person. So if you think about you went to school, think about like if your mom or dad was a teacher, they're going to have different or similar expectations for you because your parents worked there. If your mom is a principal, think about if your like mom or dad like was a political leader or something like that. Like that's kind of the expectations. It's not as big as that because there's so many churches, but just it's kind of like on that level, like that level field of like if your parents in a prominent position, think about what that prominent position could be, and then then add a layer on of like then it's church and stuff like that. But I would kind of say like that's kind of the experience. Like people are watching you, are people expecting different things from you? Like the whole thing is a prime example, like TD Jakes and Sarah Jakes. Sarah Jakes being pregnant at 16 was so big because TD Jakes was a pastor and stuff like that. She has an amazing story now, or whatever. But if you just kind of think about that, people wouldn't have thought that she got pregnant. Like, so even if it's a community leader or something like that. So I think that's kind of how you can explain it in that pressure of like, just trying to be perfect. And she was like hiding, but now she's like blossoming with like women involved. But like even her story is kind of just like a testing of what the pressures could be because she was so scared to like share, talk about getting pregnant and all those things like that. But so you listen to her
here and there.
I used to listen to her podcast on my off.
Her audio book.
I listened to two of her books too. Yes, Sarah Jakes, that's my girl. Okay, girl, come to the couch. So within that, I wanted to kind of preface, do you feel like growing up you were sheltered because you were raised in the church?
Definitely, yes. But honestly, now that I'm older, I kind of appreciate that.
Okay, right.
Because I see how people grew up that weren't sheltered, and the things that I hear that people went through in their childhood, and I'm like, I can't even imagine.
Can't imagine.
And thank God.
Thank you, I love shelter.
Right, like thank God my parents kept me in the house and kept me away from certain things. Like there's certain experiences that I'm glad I did not have as a child, and so because you grow up and kids who aren't sheltered are like, oh, you
what was they doing?
They want to, you so sheltered, But, and so you kind of, I don't know about you, but when I was younger, sometimes I felt like a little bit embarrassed about it, a little weird about it. But now that I'm older, I'm like,
I don't think growing up that I felt like I was sheltered, but I think looking back, I felt like I was kind of sheltered, and my dad's side had been sheltered. Because I think, and I don't necessarily know if it was shelter to me, it's just kind of like I do what my parents do. So, like, for instance, people talk about me because I really haven't seen, like, all the black movies, Don't Take My Black Card. But I didn't see, like, all the movies growing up, right? But my parents didn't watch those movies. Like, if it was Tyler Perry Child, I didn't know about it. So I'm like, I don't necessarily know if that was sheltered or not. But, like, my friends were like, oh, you don't watch this show, or you don't watch this show. I'd be like, no, I was watching Disney Channel. If it wasn't on Disney Channel, Nickelodeon, baby. Then I don't know, right? So I don't really think that I thought about it being sheltered until then, until like growing up. But like, cause I traveled all my life, like, so I wasn't sheltered in that, right? So some things I am, like you said, some things I'm glad of, like identity. Like sometimes you be hearing crazy stories about people's parents and kids and life and stuff like that. Are like, baby, people be having 10 kids in their house, 10 people in their house. I'd be like, child, I'm grateful for I was the only girl. I got my bedroom, child. I can't even worry about it. Shelter me today, okay? But so I don't even think about it until like I see other things. I'm like, I knew that something was kind of different when I was raised because my dad would be coming to get me on Sunday mornings to go to church. When I would do sleepovers, he's like, you gotta go to church. You gotta go to church. I'm like, I want to sleep in. So like he didn't really play about that, but I don't necessarily. I didn't know I was sheltered because I didn't really know what the outside world kind of was.
It's just
it's just kind of normal.
That was your norm. You don't realize until you get older and you see kind of the different experiences that other people have, and things they talk about, and they're like, "Oh, you didn't watch, like you said, you didn't watch that, you didn't listen to them." No.
Mm-hmm. Are they like, oh, people be like, I was clubbing at 17, 18. What?
Right.
Where were you clubbing at?
Right. And
I was in the house.
Right. And some instances like that, like I knew, like there were certain parties that I couldn't go to. I wasn't allowed to go to like my freshman year homecoming. I was so mad, child.
Oh, what you didn't know? Yeah. Baby, they was wild though, child. Yeah, but I was a graduate high school. You got a curfew. Excuse me, I just graduated high school. Like, let me live a little, okay? Yeah, they was, child, people was having babies in high school, smoking in high school. Child, they was doing everything, so.
Yeah.
And I was at home watching the game.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, yeah. Do you feel like you had an image to uphold because you was a pastor's child? Like you were living like a double life, like Hannah Montana?
I did feel that way for a long time, actually. And I don't think it's like anybody put that pressure on me. I think that's just kind of just naturally that comes with it. So especially, like I said, especially being in a small town, because everybody knows who my dad is. And I was the good kid anyway. So, like, not only was I afraid of getting in trouble, but I didn't want anybody to, like, tell my dad I did something or, you know, get the preacher's daughter did something bad. And so I put a lot of pressure on myself, I feel like, to uphold a certain image. Even as I, you know, went to college and...
You still held on to that image?
Yeah, for a while. Like, was trying to figure out, like, who I was and trying to, you know, I think I felt for a minute maybe like I was living a double life once I went off to college, because I did, you know, they say
having fun.
They say preachers' kids just be wilding.
Yeah,
and I really didn't like.
Were you wilding?
No, not really. I went to that party a little bit and, you know, drank a little bit, whatever. But like, I never really had a phase where I just went completely
crazy.
Wild. Yeah, but it was like kind of hard at first to navigate, like, what can I do, what's okay and what's not okay, especially now that I'm here on my own. Like, do I have to still
uphold this image?
Right. So
I see what you're saying. Do you feel like the church girls, no church girls don't got wild stories? Church girls didn't get to live and let it go free, you know what I'm saying?
Not this church girl.
Not this church girl. I don't feel like I lived a double life, like one for church and one for myself. But I do feel like, more or less, because it was a small town kind of, but like there was churches and all these things, whatever. So I think that maybe at church, I feel like, okay, let me just, you know, not say anything, because they'll try to go back to your mommy, auntie, da-da-da.
Right.
But at school, people didn't really know that my dad was like a preacher or something like that. So I don't feel like I had to, like, you know, try to change it or do different things like that. But at the end of the day, I knew like who I was and, like, you know, right things to do or something like that. But I don't really feel like I lived a double life. I do still feel like I had an image to uphold, though, in general, just because, like, I do know who my dad is. If he comes up, I don't got time or whatever. And, like, trying to uphold the image, like, in church, kind of like, okay, yeah, I do this or I do this or I'm fine. But, like, I don't think I was living a double life. Like, I don't think that. The next question kind of leads to what we were talking about. Like, do you feel like you, growing up, you had to be, like, the good girl because you were, like, a pastor's kid? Or do you just kind of feel like you fell into it?
Yeah. I feel like, I don't really know, because I was the good kid, and I think that was just my personality. Like, I just was afraid of everything. I was afraid of getting in trouble. Like, I feel like even if I wasn't a pastor's kid, I would still be a good girl, but, like, that definitely added to it. Because it's like, yeah, I don't want to get in trouble, and I don't want to, like, make my family look bad, you know.
When you, like, how did you know, I guess, I mean, from a young age, you knew that your dad was the pastor of the church?
I think he became a pastor, like, either the year I was born or, like, right after. So, literally my whole life.
Oh,
I've been in church
okay.
my whole entire life. So, yeah.
Yeah, and so, I guess I'm like, what made it, because you were just like, oh, I don't want them to say nothing, like, to my dad or bring anything to my dad. So, you're just like, I just don't want to cause no.
Right, yeah. Because, like, in small town, word travels fast. If I did anything, somebody.
Was there a lot of churches?
There was a few black churches within the area. So, I mean, nothing like, you know, what you see in the city. But But yeah, there was, I think, 2 main black churches in Maysville, in my hometown, and then like the surrounding counties, there was a couple more, and they were all like super closely connected too. So,
what was your denomination growing up?
Baptist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know if I felt like I was the good girl growing up. I guess I was just like, yeah, I just didn't really cause too much commotion.
Right.
Though.
Yeah.
I just felt like I was kind of chill, like, okay, do this, do that. But I don't know if it was quote unquote good girl. But I feel like it's kind of hard to say if it was like I was a good girl because I was a preacher's daughter.
Yeah.
Or if I was just like a good girl in general, just
Right. That's
good.
yeah. It's like, would I still be a good girl even if I wasn't a pastor's kid? I think I would.
Yeah. Like yeah, maybe just not, but just like even growing up, because if they weren't preachers or pastors, we would still probably be growing up in the church.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree with that. Let's see. My next question is oh my gosh. Okay, I got it. How did you we're gonna get into the good stuff now, okay? How did you reconcile the private struggles you saw within your family or the church with the public image of perfection? Like, was your family that like we're just gonna like be perfect, like we're gonna be acting like we're the perfect family because we're the first family?
Mm-hmm. I don't think my family like necessarily try to pretend to be a perfect family. That's a good question. I feel like my family was very normal at home. Like it just like, you know, I think people have a certain like idea of what
misconceptions.
Yeah, like misconceptions of what it's like living in a home with a pastor, and that is like super strict and all, like yes, I was sheltered, but I don't feel like my life was like super strict. And I mean, I feel like my family had went through things that every normal family goes through, but
do you feel like your parents didn't like maybe tell you a lot of stuff or like share with you a lot about what the family had going on because of like the church and kind of that?
Maybe so. Yeah, like because you know you grow up and you understand things that you didn't understand when you were younger, so potentially yes. But yeah, I don't. What was the last part of that question? Like what?
It was saying, how did you reconcile the private struggles you saw within your family, or even the church with the public image? So I don't know if something happened at the church. There was like a big scandal at our church when I went to when I was younger. But yeah, so it kind of be like, or even the church, like something happened at church. I don't know, and dealing with that like publicly, like did anything happen like that?
I mean, you know, my parents split up when I was a senior in high school, so that was kind of a weird time in my life.
And he was still like he's still a pastor.
Yeah, so because you know people expect things like that to happen. So I mean, I don't really feel like it was. I mean, it was rough. Like obviously, divorce and family splitting up is rough anyway. But like, it wasn't. I don't know. It wasn't anything like that seemed like too crazy or out of the ordinary to me. Like,
oh really? It wasn't scared like about the dynamic because like your dad's a pastor but they're getting divorced and then you're like, do I keep going to church with my dad or do I leave with my mom? Like it wasn't anything like that.
Well, no, because he ended up he lives in Georgia now. So,
okay.
I mean, you know.
Bye-bye, daddy.
Yeah, and so actually there was a moment like when that happened, I also was going off to college, so I kind of stopped going to church altogether for a little while. I was kind of away from it, so.
So that was kind of like the big thing.
Yeah.
Okay, and did it kind of, were you like struggling to kind of find like, oh dang, you know, like this public image, like y'all been a family for this many years since you were like born to 18. Did you feel some type of way to the public for that image, like, or did it not really affect you?
I don't know that that part of it really affected me.
Okay.
Because that was like their thing, that was my biggest thing. And
okay. You just feel like, you're like, I'm just a kid.
Yeah. I mean, by that time I was graduating high school, like I felt like whatever was going on, like that was them. It didn't really have much to do with me. I was getting out of the house and going. You're like, You know.
No? Okay.
So yeah, by that point, like I wasn't too concerned about what people thought about anything.
Oh, okay.
About that situation.
Mm-hmm. That's good. Yeah, I don't really know within like I don't really think so. I don't really have anything besides the church. Things do happen at the church. A couple things happen at the church, but it's not like within my family. So I don't really have something that's like a crazy thing to deal with that. So I would say no.
Yeah.
What was the relationship between your personal feelings and maybe your family's public image? Did you feel like you had to choose between the two?
Yeah, in some ways.
Mm-hmm.
Because in some ways, you know, as I got older, I wanted to just be a normal teenager and do what everybody else was doing, and also knowing that I couldn't.
Oh.
Because
the pastor's kid.
I'm the pastor's kid, and I can't have my family out here looking crazy, or have my dad looking crazy, or even, like I said, I didn't like getting in trouble anyway, so I didn't want even to be looking crazy for myself. So,
what are some things that you feel like you wanted to do? I mean, I guess not too crazy, but that you feel like you couldn't do?
I mean, even like go out to parties or what, you know,
like in high school.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
I mean, there was sometimes like when we had revival and I had to go to church. Because
yes. Oh my gosh, revival. What's that called?
Church while everybody else was out
having fun,
going to football games, and not that I didn't get to do those things, but like there was sometimes
it was prioritized to go to church.
Yeah.
What was revival? What be happening during the summertime?
Vacation Bible school.
Yeah, vacation Bible. Every year, vacation Bible school, child.
Yeah.
How much more do we need? I'm just playing. I don't really think that I had to choose between two, because I guess as I got older, that's what I was going to say too, because when you went to college, probably nobody knew your dad was a pastor, unless you told them. I mean, I guess, I don't know.
Yeah, well, I told
everybody. I ain't tell nobody that my daddy was a preacher. Baby kept it on hush. Okay.
I mean, it just felt like it was so much a part of my identity. So like,
oh, we're gonna get to that. Yeah. I don't feel like I was out here telling like, oh yeah, my dad's. I more or less would be telling people that my dad was in the military versus because they're like, oh, where you from? So I feel like that kind of came up. But I don't really feel like I had to choose between like my personal feelings and the family public image, because like, yeah, they see us, they know us, but it's like, yeah, he's a preacher, he's a minister, but I feel like I would say that I think when it came to social media, I kind of like just, you know, I would post stuff on Facebook, I would post stuff on Instagram. Yeah. So I think maybe that's what it comes in. Like, okay, like, I got my daddy on Facebook. Let me not even post that because
talking about a double life.
Yeah. Okay. I in social media, because I'm a little risque on the Instagram, but I post something on Facebook whatever. That's like, take this down. So and then you got the old people on Facebook, the people, and then the preachers, the old people. So I would say that I kind of do that on Facebook. Not that I have a double life, but like if I'm out, I go out, I party now. Like I do not be putting that on Facebook sometimes because
Facebook, you got to censor, you got to.
Yes, so I feel like that's kind of it. And I was like, I'm gonna stop posting myself on Facebook or Instagram. I forgot what I posted. My dad's like, you need to take this down. Are you doing this? Are you doing that? So now I kind of just like, I be like, let me not put this on Facebook. If I'm gonna go off on you, I'm gonna go off on you on Twitter. Okay. Don't go look at my tweets. So I feel like that's kind of the way that I kind of handle that. I guess like the public image or something like that. It's not really a facade to me, but it's just like, okay, I put this on Facebook, I put this on Instagram.
Right. But I think everybody kind of does that a little bit. Like, because, you know, everybody got their family, their grandparents, their aunties on Facebook, so there's certain things that, I ain't gonna say everybody, because some people just...
Yeah, some people don't care.
And they put everything everywhere. But I think there's a lot of people who do that, like, a little bit more free on some of the other...
the
platforms where we know...
Yes, I used to be free on Snapchat. I don't even use Snap no more.
I don't either.
Oh, yes, I don't.
I barely use any of Snapchat.
You barely use what?
I said I barely use any of it. I'll post on Instagram here and there, but...
Oh, okay. Can you describe the love you felt from the church community? Do you feel like it was conditional on your behavior, or do you feel like it was unconditional?
That's a good question. Because I never acted out, so
Oh.
I don't know. Like, I don't know if I did act out, if things would be different, but to me, it felt unconditional. But you know, my behavior was always that good behavior. I was always a good girl, smart kid.
Okay, girl.
That was
you was the it girl.
the one that they, you know,
like the model citizen.
Basically, like the one that people expected to.
You wasn't talking to no dudes at the church.
Mm-mm.
You didn't talk to no dudes.
It's a small town. We had my brother and my cousin. That was in my church. Now we would go to like conventions and stuff in Lexington in the bigger cities. Yeah.
Then you be talking to them.
Yeah.
I'm like, nothing was happening. That's what the small churches is. Everybody be at my church. Everybody was messing with everybody. Child, they was fighting going on.
Oh no, we didn't. Wasn't nobody. No.
But if it's like your family, then yeah, if you related, then that's different. Yeah. I was gonna say I don't really. No, from the church community, I feel like people love you generally, but like they don't know me enough. Like, okay, they know like, you know, this is so and so's daughter or something like that. This is cool. But I would say my family would probably love me unconditionally, but I don't know. People are people, and so they probably just do love you on your behavior. Because when I had to maybe say something to some people, they probably didn't think I was going to speak up, maybe, but I have a voice, okay, and I'm going to say what I got to say. And so they might not like me then, because then you say one thing, child, they'll say that you're disrespectful, but they don't know how that person talked to you. So I just think that people like love you for who you are. They love you. Are they also, I would say, sometimes they don't try you or they don't do too much because they know who your parents are.
Yeah.
I would say that that's another thing too. Yeah. Sure. I'm going to tell my daddy. I told my mom on this one dude that said something rude to me. He started crying. Yeah. Watch what you say to people.
Yeah.
And watch how you talk
That's
to people.
That's true. And I really didn't even think about that. Like, there's probably some things that people like, no, I can't. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
I know, like, not older adults, but like, you know, people in our age group, there would be, you know, even the boys and whatnot, be like, oh no, she's a preacher's daughter. We can't say certain things around her or whatever. But yeah.
Yeah. Do you feel like you were green growing up? They love that word.
Green?
Yeah. You know, I don't know the words. But yeah, so I feel like that too. Sometimes they have a level of respect for you because they know that like they don't play or whatever, but then you see them out and then you gotta be real careful because when you're out in the city, you just do whatever. You might see somebody, you might see and they might go tell your parents. So you gotta go watch that. What was I gonna say? The next question is, how did the family's role in the church impact your relationships, maybe with your parents or siblings, or if did it?
I don't know that it did really.
Like. I don't know, not that your dad or mom acted any different, but I was like, did you feel like, because usually the whole thing about like pastors, kids are like, they're so invested into the church that they're not invested into their family. Did you feel like that?
Not really.
Okay.
Do you feel like you had that?
Well, no, I feel like mine is different though, but I'm just like pastors in general, because it's, pastor versus preachers. My dad just preached one Sunday a month. But mine was different because my dad, he was in the military, so he was gone and different things all the time like that. But the thing is, like, pastors are so invested in their church that they really kind of forget their kids and stuff like that.
No, I don't feel, and that might be different in like a bigger church or something.
Oh, yeah, like a mega church or something like that.
I could definitely see that, and like, because, you know, I go to a whole lot bigger church now, and I can see the difference in like what it takes, to even run a church like that versus like what I grew up in. It's completely different. So. No, I mean, I feel like my dad was very present at home.
And did he have to work another job too?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, like, yeah, at home, like I said, at home, it just felt like a very, just normal.
He wasn't walking around singing praise and worship music?
Not all the time, no. He did here and there, but also we listen to R&B music and just, you know.
So it was normal. So you didn't really have your dad like on a pedestal growing up?
Yes and no. Like in some moments, yeah, I very much was like, oh yeah, my dad's a pastor. And like I was very well aware of that in a lot of ways. But at home, it was just my dad.
Like, oh, my dad. Yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I don't really think, well, one, because my dad was just a preacher, I don't really think it impacted the relationships with my parents or my siblings, because also my dad was still very present. He wasn't a preacher. But I would be telling him, Dad, that's where you taking all these kids to go there, do these things, and I can't go do them. That's just because I was young. But I don't feel like it impacted it. I feel like like I said, he was a youth pastor or whatever, so when he was able to do the things, you know, you could do it. We got to see like WWE SmackDown and stuff like that. We got to go a couple things. So I don't really think it affected like the relationships or whatever. We're just like, oh, my dad's a preacher. Like, it's just like a okay thing.
Right. Yeah.
Now I would say it affected my sleep. Okay. But church, in fact, that wasn't necessarily the church, but my dad would have us waking up every freaking morning. He'd be trying to read Proverbs to us. I'd be like, Dad, I'm sleeping at like 5:30 in the morning.
No, see, we didn't do that.
That's so rude. Like, no, that is so rude. He would be reading it. And it was like more or less in high school, but I was so tired still. And he still does it to this day. If you're around him, he will try to read Proverbs, and I'd be like, Dad, we already know.
At 5 a.m.?
31 Proverbs, yeah. 5:30, something like that when he wakes up.
Now, my dad, he's the early bird because he was in the military for a short time too. So, I mean, he still was like, get on up.
Yeah.
Be out of bed and get your day started. But no, no, we was not up at 5:30 reading the Bible and praying.
Yeah, that's what my dad was doing. I feel like it's a military thing, and I feel like it's a Bible thing too, because you're like, don't sleep too. Even my dad, don't sleep. Child, I be asleep. I can't worry about it. You're trying to wake me up. No. I be asleep, and then whatever, the Bible said early, something. Early bird, well, not early bird control, but like, get up and do everything you need to do. Child, I'm asleep to about 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
I ain't got it in me.
Yeah.
So I feel like that is something, but that's not really a church. That's just who my dad is. So yeah. What was the most challenging part of forging your own identity outside of being a pastor's daughter?
I would say trying to figure out what my identity was outside of that, because like I said, I felt like it was a big part of my identity. So like you said, I was going to college telling everybody I'm a pastor's daughter.
I am crying.
Like, I feel like everybody that knew me knew that. I still do now.
You do?
Like, even
you didn't tell me you were a pastor's daughter.
I don't do it as much, but there's times where I'm like, oh yeah, I'm a preacher's kid.
Yeah.
I'm 31 years old. I'm a preacher's kid. I'm a pastor's kid. And so the most challenging part was just trying to kind of let go of that a little bit and just being myself, and being okay to be myself, because it's not like I'm out here acting crazy about it. Anyway, that's just not me naturally, but just kind of figuring out that I can be myself. I'm grown now. I can say really what I want to do, and not have to worry about somebody going and
back and saying
something.
But what do you feel like is one thing that I guess you learned about yourself, or what is your identity now that I guess that you're not a pastor's daughter? Do you cling on to something else? Did you do something to figure out your identity? I don't know. Did you go to therapy? Did you pray? I don't know.
Not in my early, recently I went to therapy, but I think I kind of just grew out of it, to be honest. I came out of it even before I got to that point. I don't really know what the turning point was. Really, I just, as I got older and started maturing, I just kept telling myself it's okay. And my parents are very, I would say they're very supportive in anything and everything that I do. So they never pressured me to be a certain way or expected me to act or behave in any specific way. So and we talked about posting on Facebook or having a double identity. I feel like I could kind of, I could be whoever. I could be myself. And my
you have your dad on your Facebook?
Yeah, and he's on. Yeah, and
you can post a twerking video. He won't say nothing.
Nah, no. I don't know about
that. What he not saying? Kiana.
But I wouldn't do that anyway. Because that's naturally not how I am. But I feel like maybe because they didn't put a lot of pressures on me to be the preacher's daughter or be the good girl or whatever. A lot of that pressure just came from me naturally. I think that helped as I got older to be able to just let it go. It's okay, if my parents are not tripping about certain things, why do I care about if somebody else is worried about it?
Okay, I see what you're saying. Do you feel though, growing up, I don't know, because you were saying that you put the pressure on yourself, do you feel it was just maybe because you kept you were in church, I don't know, were you in church Wednesday, Sunday or whatever, or just in the house, is that why you feel you put that pressure on you?
I don't know. I think about that all the time. I don't know why I put something in my mom. She's like, I don't know why you felt like you had to do so much or whatever, because they didn't. They really
I was did she feel pressure as a first lady?
I mean, I'm sure she did.
Yeah, so I don't know if it kind of like dwindled down to you or not. So that's
what but I mean, like I hear stories of other people who grew up with preacher father or pastor father or whatever, and like kind of the expectations that they had from their parents and the strictness, and like I don't feel like I necessarily dealt with that. So I think it just was a lot of like in my own head and just being anxious and feeling like I had to, because when you grow up and you are the good girl, that's what people think of you. Like that's your image.
Yeah, that's your
image. So I felt like that's just what
I had to keep it up.
I see what you're saying. And then finally one day I was like, I don't have to. Like I don't
gotta do that.
I don't have to keep doing that. And I just kind of freed myself from that at some point. So
yeah, that's good. I don't really feel like my parents were strict. My dad was strict on certain things.
Yeah, certain things.
But I don't feel like they were strict. Like I feel like I got to do a lot of stuff that I wanted to do if I would have asked to do it. But there wasn't just like I had to ask. It wasn't like I could be like, oh, I'm going here. Oh, I'm like, my baby, I'd be on child punishment, grounded child. They love that stuff. So that's that. My last question to kind of wrap this topic up is, what does your relationship with faith and your family look like today?
I very much have a strong relationship with my family, with my parents, and with God. And that part of it, like the relationship with God, I really had to come to that on my own. Because, like I said, I had stopped going to church for a while when I graduated from high school and went off to college. I didn't really stick with it. And I always prayed and always believed in God, but I just kind of got out of that routine of being in church. So, and it's because I had to be in church every Sunday, Wednesday.
Yeah, you just went to college like, woo, yes, baby. I can sleep on a Sunday. Thank you, Jesus.
So, and that part, my dad would kind of every now and then encourage me, like, I could go find you a church. And,
well, my dad did that to me the other day. I haven't heard about church lately.
Right.
Okay.
Go find your church, and I'd be like, hey, okay, all right. And so, eventually, like, I actually, when I moved here, I started visiting the church that I go to now, but didn't go consistently, and then just through the years kept going off and on. And you go through a thing or two in life.
I'm so weak.
And then that's really like on my own kind of how I got close to God. So like I'm grateful for the upbringing of being in church. I'm so like when I think about it, I'm like, I'm so glad that I grew up in church. I'm just because there's just some experiences like
church girl.
Yeah, being a church kid, like there's just some of them experiences are just unmatched. But I also feel like my dad, he would encourage me to read my Bible and go to church and pray and stuff, but he did not force it on me. I don't feel like, and so like where I am now in my relationship with God, like I feel like I had to completely get there on my own, and so I'm grateful that he didn't force it on me so that I could get there on my own. And I think that also helps in my relationship with them. Like I don't feel like they force certain things on me. I don't feel like they force a certain image or pressure. Neither of my parents. So I'm grateful for that because I have a really good relationship with them. And like I said, I feel like they're supportive and whatever. I don't feel like if I messed up, like I was so afraid to mess up, but I don't feel like if I did that they would just write me off or shut me or whatever. Like no, never. Like
Jehovah's Witnesses. I didn't say no religion, my dad, child. Well, your daddy is different than my daddy because my daddy forced me. He preached to me every day. Okay, I be like, child, baby. He preaches every day. I'm getting off the phone, Dad. Bye. Like, no. So no, I would say that kind of to your point too, because growing up, going to church all this time. When I went to college, even now, even when I went to college, because I went to University of Louisville, my dad's like, my mom would have heard like, oh, there's St. Stephen's up there. Go St. Stephen's. They got a church where they got. Child, I'm not worried about no St. Stephen's. I ain't never heard about no St. Stephen's. I'm worried about going to sleep and doing my homework. And that's really what I was doing. Like even in all college, I was like, I can't wait till I get to a Saturday where I don't got to do no schoolwork. That was all I was worried about. So I didn't go to church. I didn't go to church like all freshman year. Sophomore year, I had a friend, well, she's still like my friend today, but like she went to a church and then I kind of went to church with her. Kind of sometimes, so I kind of went to that church and I went back to St. So I went to these different churches, but I wasn't like always going to church or whatever. I'm trying to think my senior year, I did have a car. I didn't go to church my senior year because, I didn't go to church my senior year. parking on campus, child, I couldn't do it, child. I couldn't do it. So I didn't go to church, and then I went to grad school. I think I went to church a little bit, but I didn't go to church that much. I finally found church like the last year, like and I started going or whatever. But yeah, so I feel like with my dad, like, you know, I still have a relationship, but like he be trying to preach and talk. He was like, yeah, like, oh, when are you gonna go to church? When are you going to church? Well, now I work, so now I don't go to church or whatever. But he's just like, okay, you need to do this. Okay, God, like he's about God pride this, God do pride this. I'm like, ooh, child, like. Okay, sir, let's calm it down. But I will say that to your point too, is like growing up in church, you don't really learn like the importance of the relationship with God. Right. You kind of are like religion, and like go to church. Like it's so much you gotta do this, do that, whatever. So now it's like, okay, I do still pray and stuff like that, but it's just like, okay, just trying to figure out, okay, read this, pray this, do this. There's all these different things that are happening. So I just feel like right now I'm in a phase is like, okay, am I reading the Bible? Am I trying to find community? I used to live in Atlanta, and it's crazy. Like the second and a half year, I did find a church. No, that's again, child. Every time I be leaving there, trying to find a church. Okay, but yeah, that was a good church. But again, so then I moved. So now I'm back up here, and of course I know a couple of churches, and I went to a couple of them, and I'm just like, okay, you know, maybe now. I'm not really for sure, honestly. So I feel like I'm in that stage of like trying to find a church, or you know, trying to find community, build the relationship with God. So it's kind of like in the middle of kind of everything that I feel like it's happening.
Yeah. And I would say, like, growing up, like, I don't know about you, but for me, growing up and like being in church, when you're young, your mind interprets things differently. So, like, I would be scared. Like, you would hear things in church and you'd be like, oh, God, like, I gotta do everything so I don't go to hell. So, like, not just worrying about, like, my dad or my family, but, like, I don't want to go to hell. Like, I don't make God mad at me either. So, like, and then I feel like it becomes almost like a fear-based type of thing. And so, like, you have to break free from that.
Yes. So I love that what you said, because we were talking about like with our family, like, do you not want to let them down or whatever? It's kind of like not letting God down, and you're kind of thinking about that. So also I think that's really probably more or less of where the perfect image came from. That is so good that you said it, because when I think about it, when you hear like, you know, about the Bible, when they teach you like this, like, good girl, okay, like, you know, don't cuss nobody out, right? So I never cussed until I got to like high school. They're like, like I meant college. Ooh, actually college. Yeah, I didn't cuss till I got to college. And now, baby, child, Lord forgive me, baby. Okay. But, and it's like, even like, oh, don't have sex till you're married, and child, don't, like, you know, having kids, are like, my dad was like, oh, having sex is for like, when you're married or something like that. So it's like, okay, so it's like, I can't cuss, I can't have sex, what else?
Drink, get drunk.
Can't drink. And when I got to college, I tried to drink, child. I just don't like alcohol, so I can't drink it, right? Don't smoke, but I guess smoking was bad for you anyway, so I don't really think that I thought about it too much or whatever. Or like, here's a good one too, because it's like, women, you're supposed to be like quiet and kind, whatever, like, don't go off on people, child, baby, don't do me wrong, because baby, you're gonna hear my mouth, so okay. But so I feel like that kind of is embedded, and you do hear that, like, well, dang, I don't want to go to hell. It's like, dang, I don't want to, people scare you, like, you know, if you have sex, you get it pregnant, and then, child, you don't want to get pregnant in high school, baby.
That was my biggest fear.
Okay, like, you don't want to get pregnant in high school, baby, because I don't know where that baby gonna go, but child, it may not be a thousand child, I don't know. But yeah, so I feel like that was a thing too. It's like also having that fear in you, and I think that that's a different thing too. That fearness of like, dang, I don't want to go to hell, child. I don't want my soul burning. Baby, you don't want nothing. But so I feel like that was like an added layer to that kind of. So that was great. I like that you point that out there. So so let's let us know how you all feel about it. If you're a preacher's kid, pastor's kid, let us know what you think about our conversation. You got anything else to add?
I don't think so.
Okay, before we go to our next topic, all right, so our next topic, this is good because we were talking about this earlier. So social media has become so popular, right? So many people share things on the internet, whether it's their relationships or their religion. Okay, and so a couple people have been called grifters. Do you know what a grifter is? I knew you did, so that's why I had to look it up.
You know, I don't know this social media.
Okay, so it's basically someone who swindles people. So think of the Tinder swindler. You're swindling people and stuff. So that's basically what a grifter is. They swindle people. But when it comes about speaking about like their relationship with God or Allah, you know, some people, we have seen social media play a huge role in that. So for our next topic, segment. It's called Digital Dilemma. So I wanted to do a little game with you where we say it's if something is authentic or aesthetic, okay? For social media. So if it's authentic, that means it's true. It's this. Aesthetic is like they're trying to like play like they're just trying to use religion as like an aesthetic, you know, trying to be a okay. I was like, ooh, these are some good ones for you. But I think you're gonna be on social media like that. But I think you got it, girl. We're gonna do it together. So is this authentic or is this aesthetic? Let us know in the comments if you want to play with this. Posting your Bible study table with the coffee and perfect lighting.
That's aesthetic, but I ain't gonna lie, it's probably
aesthetic.
I don't be on social media like that, but that's something I would do if I was.
Oh, you give it aesthetic.
I love an aesthetic.
Okay. Posting a picture at church every Sunday.
Aesthetic.
Aesthetic.
Every Sunday?
Yes, every Sunday. Yeah. Taking notes in church just to post them.
Aesthetic.
Aesthetic. I thought you were going to say authentic. Because technically I'm like, it's a little bit authentic also because we don't know that you're just we don't know if you're really just doing that just to post them.
Yeah. Well, so, I think that's the part. It's like if you're doing it just to have content to post, then yes. Yeah. Aesthetic.
But I don't know, I be typing my notes when I go to church, so yeah.
Yeah.
Recording yourself crying during prayer.
That's aesthetic.
Yeah, that's definitely aesthetic. Only showing the church events where you're on stage or serving.
Aesthetic.
Aesthetic. Yeah. Posting scriptures and captions without actually reading the chapter.
I'm guilty.
Oh, was it authentic or was it aesthetic?
Reading the whole chapter.
Because I don't really read the chapter.
I would say that can be authentic because there's certain scriptures that I feel like, you know, that live in your mind and your heart that you've grown up hearing, or you read something. Like I'll be going through something that day and I open my Bible app and it's a scripture that's just what I needed to see, and I'm like, ooh, I needed to see this. Maybe somebody else needed to see this.
Okay. So, all right, we could give that authentic slash.
It could be.
Yeah, it could be both. Reposting sermons but never attended in person.
Are you watching? Are they watching?
I don't know. It just says reposting. So when I think of reposting sermons, I think of just like sharing YouTube videos or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if you're like consistently watching the sermon and you're sharing it to get more reach, that could be authentic. But if it's just content for likes of views, then definitely aesthetic.
Yeah. I was like, I don't know. I personally think that can be authentic because you're like reposting it. It's not like you're like going there and just posting it. You could like just be scrolling and seeing something. It's like, oh, okay, I like this, and it could have related to you. Right. But you know, so many people watch people online and stuff like that. Like you can't go to all these churches, so there's so much virtual stuff and things like that. So I think that can kind of be a little bit more authentic in the time that we're in today. Like you can post a TD Jakes sermon, and who gonna be in Dallas to go to TD Jakes, right?
Oh yeah, like the clips and stuff.
Yeah,
I'll do that sometimes because again, it's like, oh, like that. Yeah, he's saying something like, okay, I didn't watch that whole sermon, but like this clip.
But this clip, I like it.
Yeah.
Or even Sarah Jake's little clippy clip from her sermon. So I think that could be a little bit more authentic. Yeah. Because you're just on social media. Yeah. Announcing your fast on social media so everyone knows. Aesthetic. Letting people see your spiritual growth journey.
I say authentic.
Oh, you do? Yeah. I feel like it's a little aesthetic.
Really?
Yeah, because letting people see your spiritual growth journey. Because like, the people who I see, I'm like, I don't know. To me, I'm just like, why are you telling people? Like, why are you showing people? Why are you telling people about it?
Yeah.
And I think it does depend on the person.
It does depend on the person.
Because it can be from an authentic space.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you know. But I know you seen Brittany, right? You don't know Brittany Renner? Oh, she was the one that married Kevin Gates. She was like Muslim. She was wearing her hijab. Baby, she took that hijab off 30 days later. She did. She took that hijab off. She said, I'm wearing what I want to wear. She was married to Kevin Gates for like 30 days, but she was talking about all this religious stuff and different like that. She's the Allah person.
I mean, it just depends on the person, I feel like. Because some people, I feel like it is inspiring. Like, especially when I started really like going on my spiritual journey heavy and like getting closer to God and really truly like understanding who God is and how he is. Like, it was all I was doing was like scrolling through Instagram looking for other people who were kind of like on similar journeys to see like people I can relate to and seeing, like, I love reading stories about how people got to God, like on their own, like reading those testimony stories. So like, I would say, like you said, it depends on the person, but like I appreciate that people share their stuff because for me it's relatable and inspiring sometimes. So, and sometimes like sometimes I hate posting, and sometimes I'm like, I want to post some things because I want to share, like make people see that like it's okay to talk about God, or it's okay to pray and have a relationship, that type of thing. So I think it just depends on like the intent behind.
That's what talk about that. Because Beast was talking about how she wanted to take a Bible to BET Awards, and her friend was like, "Well, what's the intent?" She's like, "I don't know." And that's the thing. It's like, it's your intention. Like, what are you doing this for? And so I can say that maybe the people are who you're watching, but I guess I'm talking about celebrities when it's just like, okay, now you change from this because they talk about celebrities who go from strippers to this to whatever, all that conversation. And it's like, okay, what's your intent on sharing? It's like, are you trying to get a bag off of this? Are you like, you trying to make money off of God's name? Are you just doing this because it's popular? So I feel like it's kind of hard because you never know people's true intentions.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to tell, and sometimes you just just have to be discerning of like what's there. Sometimes you can see people's spirit, I believe anyway. And sometimes you can definitely tell it's like, okay, yeah, this is for image. Yeah, like it's for an image, right? So you don't really know. So that's what I was thinking about. I have this one scenario. I just think it kind of could be cool to see what you think about it. So you share sermon clips and Christian reels on Instagram, but in private you don't live by those same values. Does sharing still count as spreading the word, or is it hypocrisy? I think it still counts as spreading the word.
Oh, you do? You don't think it's hypocrite?
No, because we ain't perfect. Anybody perfect.
Yeah. So, but they don't believe in those values.
Don't believe in them?
Oh, yes. It says, you don't live by them. Maybe. Yeah. You don't. That's why you're saying that, because just because they don't live by them don't mean that.
Right. That it still can't. I would be a believer, like God uses imperfect people anyway to spread his messages. Like people he used in the Bible, he used murderers and everything else. I mean, for real. So like, and we talk about pastors, like even they're not perfect people.
Thank you for saying that, because someone said you go every time you listen to a stranger tell you about God. So,
but like that's the person that God chose to use to spread a message, and regardless of what he got going on in his own personal life. Ain't my business, but like I still got the message sometimes. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I think I disagree with that part.
It depends. It depends. Like yes, it's situational. Like, but
I get he can give a good message, but to me, I'm just using this. Like, I don't think. Well, this kind of sounds bad, but I don't know. It does depend on, I guess. Just use this for example. Like if a pastor is cheating on his wife. We don't know the circumstance, right? But it comes out that he's cheating on his wife. Well, if you can't be loyal to your wife when God says not to cheat on your wife, it's kind of like, how can you lead these members of the body to Christ when you're doing something? I know you're not perfect, but you're doing something that's literally like condemned. And so I feel like sometimes, I'm not trying to say that pastors should be perfect, but I feel like sometimes people do hold pastors to a higher standard, and I don't necessarily think that that's a bad thing per se, because you're doing it. But I get that, they all have issues, they all have different things, but it's kind of like you're supposed to be this person that people are looking to receive the word. Not that you have to be perfect, but I feel like you have to have like, I don't know, I just feel like some pastors, like people be playing with God and they don't be scared enough.
Some do. Yeah.
And then it's like, and people, because, humans are so forgiving, and I'm not saying that we shouldn't be, but it's like, it's okay, we're not perfect, it's okay, we're not perfect. But if you were chosen, you know what's right. You know what's right. Y'all, pastors be having multiple wives or multiple houses. And I mean, general, men be doing that, whatever. But like be having multiple houses, like with kids and stuff like that, or be lying or be cheating on them in the church. Like, it's just like, where's your respect for yourself and for your church, and then for God? And it's like, y'all be playing with God just a little bit too much, baby. Y'all trying to tic-tac-toe, bingo. Like,
yeah, I have mixed feelings about it. Yes, because you're right. It's hard to, like, if you know that somebody's doing this thing, like blatantly just disrespecting like, their wife or their family, or like doing things that just completely go against the word, and they're supposed to be in this position of leadership. Like, how can you not think about that, or how can you trust their leadership? And at the same time, I still kind of stand by like nobody is perfect, really. And like grace, like when I came to understand grace and forgiveness, like the grace that like God has for people is like something like we as humans can't really even fathom. I feel like because we are so judgmental, we are so like we don't let stuff go, and like God forgives, God lets things go. God is graceful. So like I go back and forth, and I think about like people in the Bible, like David, and I ain't read the whole Bible, so I be wanting to talk about these stories, but I'm like
the story might be a little choppy, but you get the message.
Like I know, like for him, I mean, he was the man after God's own heart, and he did what he did with Bathsheba. He was out there wilding, but you know, he was still like chosen by God to lead and do. You know.
And that's true. That's true, but I always have to remind people, I'm not God, child.
Well, I mean, yeah, because we're not.
I'm not God, baby, so I might not be as graceful as him. But we didn't talk about this, but I also feel like as women, I feel like with grace, like we get, I feel like we have to give so much grace, but men don't get the same grace. Okay, let's not talk about it.
Different.
Okay, but so I feel like as women, we have to be graceful. We have to be this, we have to be that. And even when I said it, they be like, "Oh yeah, I'm giving him grace." Like as women, we feel like we have to give all these men graces and chances. That we are not God, and so I feel like at one point in time, like there's only so much grace people have, and so it's like women continually give women grace and grace and grace. Even if we talk about it, like the pastor is human, he keeps cheating, but how many times does his wife have to keep forgiving him? Like how much grace does she have? Child, ain't that much grace in the Bible, because we don't got grace to be iron our man's shirt who cheated on us. Like I'm sorry, God didn't give that to me, child. He ain't give that grace to me. So
I ain't putting up with no stuff either, but like that's why I say I have mixed feelings, because you right, I'm not.
So I just feel like, I'm not God, but I feel like as just in general as women, like we give men so much grace, but then I like they can use that, like it's like you can use it. People, you can use the word and whatever. Like they can use the word,
they can weaponize it
and
absolutely,
and use it to manipulate you and stuff like that. So I'm like, at some point, baby, I'm standing on God, but I got to stand on 2 toes, 2 feet, child.
Right.
Okay, God, 2 feet, but I'm not God, so I'm not as graceful. Maybe one day I will be a little bit more graceful, but as right now, baby, child, y'all's gonna have to work with me, because I do not I cannot stand that women always give me like, I'm gonna be graceful, I'm gonna be graceful, I'm gonna be graceful. And then you sitting here, they talking, looking crazy, and I get like it shows about them too. But sometimes you just gotta let these people know, like, do not play with me.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm always a person like, I get both sides. And people be like, no, pick a side. No. I do, like, yes, because don't play with me. But also, also grace. Like
you get about this much. There's a TikTok that said you get one time to mess with me, the second time to boot, and then you. Okay.
But I feel like you can also you can stand on that. Like I have been played with people, and you can
bounce. You can bounce.
You can keep on moving, but you can also still forgive. And that don't mean you have to reconcile and let them get away with whatever they like. That doesn't excuse their behavior
but I feel like with forgiveness they do it like it's like, okay, I forgive you, and so but then they say like, if you forgive a man, whatever happens, but like, so they use that forgiveness, like they use the woman knowing that she like Summer Walker said, a heart of a woman. I say I have a heart of a man, but that's another conversation. But like a heart of a woman, they use that heart, they long on that, the forgiveness. So I just feel like sometimes they kind of use it to weaponize you and manipulate women, but
I feel like it just depends, because you can forgive and let go, and just for you, like I'm not gonna carry this anger, this whatever around, but I'm also still not gonna fool you. Like you're not coming back. We're not talking.
Well, they be letting them come back.
That's we could talk all day. That's all.
They be letting them come back. So that's not where we got to. Right. But
I can talk all day.
Yes, we talked about this in another episode too, the marriage, modesty, and morals or whatever. So this is just kind of a series of, being church girls and navigating that.
Right.
So I hope y'all enjoy this episode. And so Our last segment is really, really quick. It's the postcard segment, and it is to, give advice for people who are listening or watching about kind of like something that they can take with them. So I wanted to see if you had any advice to give to a young person that may be currently a pastor's kid. That, like, what would you say to your younger self?
Just be yourself. And I mean, really, just be yourself, and don't worry so much about the pressure of trying to maintain a certain image or look a certain way or whatever. Just be who you are.
Okay, I would say for the preacher's kid, I would really kind of just be like, it is what it is. Like, my daddy's a preacher, not me, child, so don't try me. I'm just playing. I wouldn't say that. But no, for the, like, your dad's a preacher, but no, for real, like, have your kind of own identity. Like, he's a preacher's kid. I mean, no, you're a preacher's kid. He's a preacher, but that doesn't have to belong on to you. Now, I'm not saying go out there crazy and do different things, but like, if you feel like you want to hold what you have, uphold it, and you want to like rock that, like, okay, I'm a preacher's daughter, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that, but do not like kind of like deprive like your wants and your needs. Like, if you want to be, now this is just for example, like if you want to be a bartender or something like that, don't deprive it. Like, don't deprive what you want to do because you are a preacher's kid. If you feel so passionate about it, just like talk to your dad or your mom, whoever, because our dads were just like the pastors and the preachers. Like, people's moms could be pastors and preachers now, child. Right. I don't know the denomination, but like, just kind of say like, okay, or even like, take to God, like, okay, I want to do this, I want to do that. And I would honestly say, like, just find your voice and what you want to do and speak up for yourself and do you, because you can't worry about nobody else except yourself. Right. Now, if you want to get a little raunchy, don't put it on Facebook, put it on Instagram. I'm just kidding, but no, for real. So I would just say find your voice and speak to who you want to be and put yourself out there for how you want to present yourself. Like, okay, this is my dad, okay, this is my mom, and boom, that's how we go. Okay, so that's really all I gotta say. Do you have anything else that you would like to add? Well, thank you so much for coming on to the episode. I appreciate you for spending some time with me, coming to the den, giving a voice for the pastor's kids, okay, preacher's kids. If you have not seen this podcast before, make sure you follow us on Instagram and TikTok at the Black Girls in Podcast and Black Girls in Podcast. We post on YouTube every Wednesday, Black Girls in Podcast. You can listen to us on audio Wednesdays, Podbean, the Apple Store, the podcast app, child, wherever you listen to your podcast apps, okay? Type in Black Girls in Podcast and you'll find us and you'll see us, and hopefully you'll love us. So thank y'all so much for watching this episode. We'll see you next week. Bye. I hope you enjoyed your episode. But guess what, girls? We're going live next week. So grab your hot cocoa, get into your onesies. The Christmas Eve episode will be live on YouTube. We'll be going live at 12 p.m. EST time. So make sure, if you are not subscribed to the YouTube channel, go to Black Girls in Podcast and subscribe so you can be notified. I would love to see all of you all on our live next week. Stay tuned and have a Merry, Merry Christmas.